All right, I got my cough drop ready. Let's do this. My voice is completely shot, and it's thanks to all you lovely people. What's up, everybody? Lawler here. Day four recap, I think. I don't know. At this point, I'm so beat. It's been crazy. Again, like I said in the intro, my voice is completely shot. You guys can probably tell. And a lot of it is thanks to you all. There's been so many, like, insane amount of people coming up and asking for pictures and signatures and stuff, and it's a very, very humbling experience. So I greatly appreciate you guys have had a lot of kind words and been absolutely fantastic. So thank you. Because of that, my voice is in a place where it needs help, and we're gonna see what we can do. Although if it was this low all the time, I would be ecstatic. We got 6 matches to cover. It is officially day 4 recap. All that's left is Championship Sunday. It's going by way too fast. I'll end up doing future videos. A lot of people in the comments have been asking about like the Sandrock situation as well as like just other stuff around. We're going to be crushing out obviously the recaps for the day, and that's kind of the focus. But then we'll talk about the big picture stuff, favorite moments, things like my experience at LAN and some of the stuff that's been different, and some things talking about announcements that happened today because there was a bunch. We'll talk about all that stuff in videos when I get back home in my home setup. But for now, the focus is going to be just on the 6 matches that we had for the day. So, started off with Team Queso and Evil Geniuses, and this was one where, although Evil Geniuses I think is a very solid team and a very well-structured team, and they put up an insane fight, which I've been saying this whole time. They're a team that's going to make you fight tooth and nail for every single series. It is Team Queso's aggressive playstyle that is continuing to persist. They are now what is the last hope for Europe. They have knocked out the other European team, and they are the only one. They do 3-0, and it starts off with a sweep in the best of 5s in lower round 2, where they end up going into an overtime 8 seconds. And it was kind of the hardest part too, is you saw EG putting up a really good fight, and they bring it to OT finally, and you're like, yes, it's going to be a close one. We're going to get a series out of this. And then 8 seconds, and it kind of kills it. So this is the one where I was doing a private walkthrough with Chrissy from V1. We were doing like a studio tour and stuff. And shout outs to V1 for having us shoot a bunch of content out here. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we walked into it, and it was the equalizer goal that we like saw that was super cool, and then the overtime that happened immediately after. So it was pretty dope. It was super cool to walk into that being the first like experience of the live crowd, which has been absolutely insane. Again, more details about what this event has been like from my perspective, obviously because I used to be part of the staff, and now I'm like third party viewing it and stuff too. And I'll try to show you guys. I'll try to get some sneak peek stuff of behind the scenes stuff as well because of tomorrow. So Team Queso EG, it is Team Queso in favor, and we saw some more of the same. Tri-casting still going on with 3 casters, and that keeps to persist. It just makes it so much easier for the guys, so they're not completely straining their voices, as you can tell. As for the next match, we had Faze versus BDS, and I kind of spoiled it already because my brain is completely fried, and so is my face. You can tell I'm like Rudolph right now. It's been sunny out, but Faze and BDS was also a sweep, and it wasn't just a sweep. It was perfect. BDS didn't score a single goal in their game. It was 1-0, 2-0, and then 3-0. So nice pattern by Faze. But the cool thing about this is because of LANs and the way that they have this stuff scheduled over 5 days, there's big separations in bounce back capabilities. I mean, you talk about normally the lower round 1 where Faze is having kind of an off day. Things aren't going so great. You know, Daniel's a little bit shaky and stuff. They have a day to go back, kind of readjust, and then come and tackle it. And it's absolutely incredible that Faze is making this adjustment despite having a little bit of a shaky start. They've got a lot to prove, and that extra day can make a big difference. It resets the mentality. They come back reinvigorated, and it's just unfortunate for BDS. They weren't able to get things going. So Faze moves on to the lower quarterfinals, as does Queso, opposite side of the bracket. We go to the top side, and we got G2 versus Furia. And again, another really close series. But G2's vibing. JNaps is looking as good as he did back in E-League 2017. I think Atomic has fit into that roster very, very well. They continue to just punish teams so much. There was some times during the series where you could see the offense regress a little bit, and that's pretty common when you have a live crowd and there's a little bit more pressure. It makes it a bit more real. Teams usually play a little bit lesser just because of all the I guess, pressure and the excitement and everything going on, and every single goal is ooh and ah after, and every single big moment for both sides is talked about. So they can hear it. I know they can hear it. And then you're dealing with the pressures of interviews and everything else. So players are playing a little bit worse at times, and I don't think the gameplay has been anything insane, if I'm being completely candid, and that applies to the entire tournament. But it is super entertaining, and the matches have been extremely close. I mean, you look at this series, it's 1-0, 3-2, 4-1, 1-0, 4-0, 4-1. So, like, it goes back and forth the entire time, and it looked like Furia was super close in a couple of these. Primarily, I think it was Game 4, on Utopia, where it was 1-0. The difference in that series, it's pretty nuts to see. So shout outs to Chamaco for doing casting on that one and showing the Brazilian shirt and the flag and stuff like that, and getting people into it. So I always love to see, that's what I want to say, the involvement of the community, and I can't stress that enough. I talked with the Rocket League esports staff, and I'm obviously jumping the gun, but they, along with myself, feel like this is kind of needed. The whole, like, soul coming back into the scene and everything that Wavepunk talked about at the end of the broadcast yesterday. I feel like we needed this. The players, the staff, the casters, everybody, I think, is just, when you don't have the community and you don't have people there to, I guess, really experience it with, you definitely feel it. And for a lot of these players, like NRG, that aren't in the tournament anymore, I can't imagine how they feel. You know, it's been since December 2019 when they won a world championship that they haven't been able to play in front of a crowd, and that feeling is missing. There's something definitely missing, and I'm hoping that they're still going and meeting fans and doing all that kind of stuff and getting that feeling of it. But I can't imagine how they feel not hearing a crowd roar when they do stuff, or being able to do that walkout and stuff. I feel really bad for a lot of these teams. I feel even worse for Sandrock that didn't even get to come play. It sucks, but while talking with staff and stuff, we both agreed upon the fact that there is certain things that we're desperately missing, and they're so happy that it's back, because you can just see it in everybody how much more excited they are. Players, community aside, which is awesome. So G2 Furia definitely felt like that community, because the first two games were kind of straightforward. They were very quick 3-0s, and this one had the back and forth and the crowd excitement, and Jan was hitting nasty shots. He had a flip reset pass that was absolutely sick. But those are the types of plays that get you really invested. And talking with a lot of corporate people and people that are new to this scene, them watching Rocket League as compared to like Call of Duty, where their background is or otherwise, they are so surprised by what this community is. So whoever's watching this, you guys should be proud of what you represent, because it is different compared to other esports. We then go to the next one, Space Station versus V1. There was some moments of me and Super in the crowd. We don't need to go into that, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, fun series, very competitive series, probably one of the better ones. This is also the implementation of timeouts in the best of 7 series. So unfortunately for V1, in my obviously biased opinion, as you guys know, they do go down 0-2. Space Station looks absolutely insane. Very close series, 1-0, 5-3. It was a slugfest. Space Station's super elusive. They were really tough to demo. V1 just couldn't connect with them. And they were winning challenges left and right. And anytime they wanted to do something, Daniel had an answer. Young rookie, you can barely see him in his seat, and hopefully Wojtek's showing you guys footage of that. But like, you lose him. You don't even know he's there. But he single-handedly is like hard carrying this team in these results. And it's impressive. It's impressive to be a 15-year-old kid and have a whole arena just yell your name. And it's pretty crazy. Very, very Space Station biased, I will say. Space Station probably has the biggest fan base at this LAN out of any team I've seen. The crowd really loves Space Station. I'm curious if that translates. If you guys can let me know in the comments down below how it's been for you guys online, if the audio comes through well or not. I'm sure you guys heard everybody booing a Broken Rule 2, not 1. I know that's going to piss off a lot of people. But yeah, the V1 Space Station game was back and forth. It was pretty exciting. A lot of OTs. Glad to see V1 battle it back a little bit, and these games are coin flips at this point. Anything top 6, I think, is just a coin flip. Ultimately, in these matches, it comes down to a couple of mistakes or a couple of things that are forced, whether it be through high pressure, which Space Station is doing a phenomenal job of. They look poised to win the whole thing, if I'm being completely honest. But that's a scary G2 team that's in their way. So Space Station does close it out. 2 OTs, very back and forth. And really wishing that OT went the other way and we could have went to 7 and seen the potential reverse sweep, because if V1 wins that OT, we then go to Game 7, Champions Field. Everything's on the line, and we see what happens. So heartbreaking there for the V1 team. And Space Station playing damn well. Excited to see that upper bracket match tomorrow. We then drop to the lowers, and they go back to the other half, which is Queso and Furia. And we finally get a Game 7. We get to go to the distance, and which is exciting to see. You've got EU's last hope going up against South America. South America showing that they're something that should be respected. I still have some concerns about the format and the way things played out, and also the like questions about Sandrock if they would have been here and what the results would have changed there. But there's no doubt in my mind that these minor regions have come to play, and they're very good. Furia obviously increased their talent level with Jan. Actually, on my way up to my hotel room, saw a card in the elevator. I talked a little bit, called him the king, and tried to raise his spirits a little bit, because obviously tough losses today for them too. But yeah, it's tough. You see these guys and put their heart and soul on it, and you just try to do everything you can, because there's nothing you can say that'll make it better. And for them to lose in 7 is tough. It sucks. It's a 3-minute OT, back and forth. I mean, they had 3 in a row. Queso was up 2-0, and then they were 3 in a row. They have 2 extra lives to close it out, and Queso still holds on, man. It's a resilient team. They're frustrating to play against. They're fast. They're aggressive. They, like, if you ever take a break, they will punish you, and it sucks for teams to play against. It really does. It makes me scared for everybody in that lower bracket, but yeah, it's pretty wild. So Furia, really close series. Just entertaining, being honest. I was eating food and standing in line a majority of the time at the food trucks. But yeah, the impressive stuff from both sides. Team Queso does keep EU's dreams alive, and they go on to play Faze. So we've got our top 4. Our top 4 is Space Station G2, Faze, and Queso. Tomorrow broadcast is going to start with the upper bracket, just so the lower bracket don't have to like wait to catch up, and then the team has to play back to back. So you're going to see Space Station G2 go at it at 10 a.m. as usual. That team will drop down and then play the winner of Faze and Queso. So we got our top 4: Space Station G2, Faze, and Queso. 4 damn good teams, and everybody playing well. Obviously, heartbreak. I actually skipped over it and didn't even think about it. V1 and Faze. V1 and Faze played in the lower bracket. I'm so tired, everybody. I apologize. It's been a long 3 days, and I'm having 4 days. I lied. But yeah, V1 Faze. I actually, I was out trying to catch a breather. You guys have my voice absolutely destroyed, and I appreciate it. So I actually had to take a step out and try to find a place to hide, to take a breather and like try to relax and collect myself, because I'm actually a pretty introverted person, and these events take a lot out of me. So by all means, still come say hi if you see me. But yeah, V1 started up 2-0, feeling good, vibing, and then I don't know what it was, but Faze just, no matter what V1 did, Faze, like, they had an answer for it. V1 would try to make a pass play or something happen, Faze would save it. Anytime something crazy was starting to develop, Faze would shut it out. Anytime this play looked like it was going to develop, Faze was there. And it seems like they had an answer for everything. So I would be really curious to talk to AXB and see what he said in that timeout, because it was worlds of difference. And it looked like Faze was just going to run away with it. And then V1 also had a timeout. They switched their playstyle up and get a bit more aggressive, and they win 2-1. And then the most heartbreaking thing happens. V1 has a calm, stands tall. He goes underneath, wins a grade 50, gets a big moment. And I'm even thinking of a different series I could be. It's all kind of melted together, just like my brain is right now. I'm pretty sure they go up early. Faze ties it up. They then do it, and then Faze equalizes in like the last 20-some seconds or something. And then that overtime is just a very, very well-placed flick, an awkward spot near post, and there's nothing they can do about it. And seeing First Killer that animated, that reaction of him like fist pumping and stuff is, that's why we do it. It sucks, because you want to, like I said, feel for these guys. But the big thing I'm telling the V1 guys is like, hey man, you guys have been together. You're a brand new team for 2 months, maybe 3. And you guys just made top 6 in the world. And this is a very competitive bracket. And the format is brutal. It's tough. So remember this moment, cherish this moment. Be like, hey, I never want to feel this loss again, and use that to motivate yourself, because it's only going to get tougher in spring. These teams have come to play, and with teams like Complexity and stuff still warming up, it's going to be difficult. So we're going to probably spend the day tomorrow just kind of chilling, hanging out, and trying to have good energy. But yeah, pretty wild stuff here out in Los Angeles. I'm burnt. My nose hurts, and so does my throat. So I'm excited to get back home and talk with you guys, but we got one more day of RLCS left. Thank you to everybody who's been coming again and saying hi and asking for autographs. Shout outs to staff, both Psionics and otherwise, whether they see this or not. It's been pretty crazy seeing this from an outside perspective, and more on that when I get back next week. So with that said, one day to go. Top 4, Space Station G2, Faze to Queso. We've got a potential 4, maybe 5 matches tomorrow, so it might be a little bit of a quicker day, but expect some announcements. There's one more left to go. We know that stuff is going to be in London. Repeat of the Season 5 Copper Box situation. The video they produced is absolutely hilarious. But that does it for me, chat. 16 minutes. I'm surprised I made it this far. I'm sure Wojtek's going to splice it down and make it look prettier for y'all, which I appreciate him too. But again, likes, comments, subscribes, all that stuff down below. Greatly appreciate y'all. Thumbs up. You know what to do. And if you see me in person, say what's up. We're out of here. Peace.